Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today to talk about our SherWeb new Cashback Promo. My name is Nat. I'm the Channel Marketing Strategist here at SherWeb. I recently joined SherWeb to develop initiatives tailored to MSP's needs. The CSP Cashback Promo paired with Microsoft PowerUp is my first initiative to motivate you and help you make better margins. Joining me to this webinar is Mathieu Leblanc, Director of Partner Network. Mathieu, thanks for joining.
Thank you, Neb. Thanks for having me, and hello everyone, and thank you for being with us today.
Before I talk to you about the promo, Mathieu will talk to you about how SherWeb is your cloud accelerator and share some Office 365 sales tactics. We'll answer all your questions at the end. Please type them in the chat box.
All right, so thank you, Neb. So let's get started, everyone. And before we do so, once again, thank you all for joining. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you are today. What I want to say first is really that I am convinced and very confident that whatever you hear today will have a direct and relevant impact to your business. So stick with us to the end and you'll have a direct impact to your profit and loss, your P&L, and a positive one at that. So thanks again for being with us, and let's get started. So when we say SherWeb, your cloud accelerator, what does it mean? Well, before I answer that very important question, let's just set the stage a little bit. I'm going to be asking some questions, and I want you to think about it and answer them yourself as we go through the next few minutes. So I'm sure that most of you have sold some form of cloud service today, whether it be online backup, Office 365, of course, infrastructure as a service or whatnot. But ask yourself, are you truly cloud enabled? Have you transformed your business to a recurring revenue model where you're maximizing all managed service opportunities? Are you a traditional VAR that's selling break fix and one-time transactional services and maybe reactively positioning cloud services to your customer? Or are you a true managed service provider that's billing your customer on a recurring monthly fashion and managing all opportunities around managed services and cloud opportunities? And I really hope the answer is yes. And if it's not, don't worry, you're in good hands, because that's what being a cloud accelerator means, accompanying you across that journey. And we'll talk to you in a few minutes about specifically what we do at SherWeb to bring you along that journey. Because the reality is that cloud computing is opening a new door, not only in your own business as a VAR or an MSP, but also in how you engage with your customers. Because you might have noticed, technology by your customers is increasing. And therefore the demand for an IT expertise to manage these complex solutions is also increasing. And that means you. So your customers not only need, but often are asking for managed services from channel partners just like you, in order to free up their teams to work on more strategic projects or initiatives. And, quite transparently, another challenge is that direct sales by vendors like SherWeb, for example, is simply insufficient to fully cover the market. There's no way, for example, that SherWeb can have sales or account managers all over the world. We need you, and together is where we truly shine and have success in market. So your customers are asking for a local supplier. SherWeb can't deliver that. You can. So on that note, let's look at who is SherWeb. Just spend a couple minutes on here. Well, SherWeb's been a strong player in the cloud sphere for about 20 years now. We are what we call born in the cloud service provider in 1998. Today we have more than 5,000 partners that cover 40,000 organizations worldwide. We're over 400 employees, which of course many of these include various certifications, including Microsoft. We have 6 Tier 3 data centers across the US and Canada, are PCI and SOC 2 compliant. We were awarded the Microsoft Worldwide Hosting Partner of the Year Award in 2013 and have been finalists in 2014 and 16. And of course we're Microsoft CSP, so a cloud solution provider, indirect partner in US and Canada, which allows us to resell Microsoft Cloud solutions like Azure, Office 365, and Dynamics 365 to partners like yourselves, who then in turn sells to the end customer. And we are the 2017 Microsoft Cloud and Hosting Productivity Award winner and the #1 CSP distributor in North America. And this is by Redmond Channel Partners, which is a very interesting award because we were nominated by you, our channel partners. So that's great recognition from the industry and from the channel partners with whom we work with on a daily basis. So as you can see from our cloud portfolio, we have an extensive one, and many of them are often the most popular and in-demand and easy to deploy cloud solutions that your customers might want. So if you're new to the cloud or selling cloud solutions for the first time, online backup, email such as Office 365, very easy workloads to transition your customers to the cloud, all the way up to more complex build such as cloud servers, infrastructure as a service, are all available at SherWeb. The differences here that you see in red and not in red is that red services are Microsoft CSP, so Microsoft hosted services, whereas the others are SherWeb hosted services. So we spoke about being your cloud accelerator. What does it mean? Well, quite simply, it means we're here to simplify the cloud and to simplify your cloud journey as a VAR or an MSP evolving into cloud solutions. We make sure that at every step of your journey with us and with your end customer through their journey that you can tap into professional services at SherWeb as your own to accelerate your growth and maximize your profits. You might say, Matt, that's a great line, but what does it truly mean? Well, it starts with you having the ability to sign up to about 4 different kinds of partner programs that are best aligned with your business model, such as, do you want SherWeb to be invisible to your end customers completely? Do you want SherWeb to support your end customers? Do you want SherWeb to bill your customers? So depending on the nature of your relationship and your capabilities internally, you select the right program for you. And then the real fun begins. Sign up, of course, is free, no obligations. And then we get into the selling and the enablement. So SherWeb has made available a team of account managers, trainers that are there to make sure your sellers and your technical folks and your back office people are able to sell, manage, and invoice all of the cloud solutions that you sell with SherWeb to your end customers. You get a great platform to manage your customers' subscriptions, cloud services that they have instantaneously, and then of course is integrated with Microsoft through APIs. You get great reporting, billing, visibility, and all that good stuff to make sure you're up on your business and know exactly what's happening and have the ability to make changes to your customer services within just a few seconds. And finally, the last 2 is really where a lot of the value comes through for you, our partners at SherWeb, and that's through migration and support services. So for every single customer that you onboard to Office 365 or Hosted Exchange, you get access to free premium migration services from SherWeb. So this is a dedicated specialist, tools such as BitTitan that SherWeb absorbs the cost for in moving the data from the on-premise platform to the cloud, best practices that have been built over 20 years of migrating people to the cloud. This is free for you as our partner and gives you a great opportunity to maximize your revenues or your profits or to be extremely competitive in market to convince customers to onboard with you. And finally, you have access to 24/7 support that's based right here in North America. As I said, it's 24/7 and it comes with no restrictions. You can call once, 100 times a month, it really doesn't matter. We're here 24/7 to support you without any restrictions whatsoever. So there's a lot more to our story than that. So to find out more, ask questions at the end of today's webinar or sign up or reach out to SherWeb and one of our account executives is going to be more than happy to answer some of your questions. So let's move on to Office 365. Before we do that, we do have one poll. Nat, help me out.
Sure, Metu. So everyone, a quick question for you all. We want to know if you are currently selling Office 365. So you will have a poll to answer yes or no. Just click your options.
So we're just going to give you another 10 seconds or so before we show the results.
Thank you all. So as you can see, that's great. 89% of you are currently selling Office 365. And there's a little 10%, about 11% that are not selling Office 365. So Matthew will continue and will give you more sales tactics about Office 365.
Great, thank you, Nep. All right, so when you talk about Office 365, the first thing that your sellers must truly understand and master is they need to comprehend what exactly Office 365 can do for their customers. And of course, if you're using Office 365 internally within your own business, this is going to make that task a lot easier. But if you're not, don't worry, it's still possible with the help of SherWeb's training program. But basically, your sellers must fully grasp the benefits and value of Office 365 for your customers. And this falls into 4 key pillars around be productive anywhere, which is really the ability for your customers to access their data and to work efficiently from any device, anywhere, at any time. All right? The second one is work better together, which is the ability for your customers and their users, both together and with outside, so their suppliers, their customers, and so forth, to further engage, collaborate, and work better together with the latest and newest communication tools available. Protect what matters. Well, in essence, it's really the ability for your customers to secure their data with enterprise-grade protection and continuous solutions. So you get a cloud subscription service that comes with a 3.9 SLA, full geo-redundant infrastructure with local backup copies made in both data centers. So just to know that your files are being protected, are secured, and then backed up and can be recovered at any point is great peace of mind that your customers can have when using using Office 365. And finally, build for tomorrow. That simply states that your end customers can maximize their technology investments, not in infrastructure, not in maintenance or offsite backups, but really in really what adds a lot of value to their business. So that's more of the cloud concept, paying a recurring monthly subscription for actual services that you use. So the second thing, and again, this is not an Office 365 training, but the second best practice around selling Office 365 is making sure that your sellers master the key workloads within Office 365, which again can be done and accessed from anywhere, and they include the Office suite for, we're talking about PowerPoint, Excel, SharePoint, and so forth, Exchange Online for email, OneDrive for file sync and share, SharePoint for document management, and a lot more, but at its core, it is what SharePoint is for. Skype for online meetings and communication within your company and outside of your company, and finally Yammer as a social network. So we're not going to get into each specifics. That's what your account executive at SherWeb is for, to make sure that you get the right skill set, your sellers know what each workload is about, know what the key selling features are about. But this is really the second aspect, knowing the workloads and presenting them in a scenario process, which is how we also train our own teams to sell and talk about Office 365. Another key aspect when selling Office 365 is that your sellers need to be able to both uncover Office 365 opportunities by asking the right questions, right? You want to be proactive. You want to make sure your customers are not going to the competition. But also they need to be trained to listen or to be attentive to different cues or pain points, or just being attentive to what your customers are saying to identify a potential need or fit with Office 365. So, there's really 4 key aspects when you're talking about uncovering Office 365 opportunities. And the easiest one is really around Office Suite. Simply because over 80% of businesses worldwide use Office Suite today, you can pretty much be guaranteed that your customer is using Office. So trying to understand what version they're using, do they have any pain points with managing different versions, old versions, compatibility issues? Did they just hire a few employees and they don't want to pay $300 for an Office license? So really Office is often the way to first start the conversation around Office 365. The second one is really around email. So ask your customers or pay attention to your customers' pain points around email. Simply by asking them, what email solution are you using today? And tell me about it. Do you have any current pain points or limitations? Is downtime affecting you? Reliability, user frustrations? Is the fact that you have a 2 gig limit and have to do local PSTs every week or local archives every week something that your users find very cumbersome and annoying? So email, everybody uses email. So if it's not Office, the email, so Exchange Online, is the second best way to introduce Office 365 to the conversation. And then the last 2 are really around document management and collaboration. So understanding how your customer is managing their documents, both within their company and how they're sharing it with the outside, is key. They might say, yeah, I gotta purchase some new storage, my SAN, not my SAN, but my file server is full. Yeah, my users are starting to work more and more remote, or they're on the road and they have limited access to the documents that are on our server. That requires a VPN access, for example. So these kinds of limitations or pain points often allow you to position the SharePoint or OneDrive solutions within Office 365. And finally, the collaboration tools, and this is really around communication. So understanding how your customers are working amongst themselves. So are there people remote, working from home, for example, multiple offices, sales reps on the roads? How do they communicate with their customers? How do they engage with them? Do they use online conferencing tools? So making sure that the communication aspect is well handled is another way to introduce a Skype component to the discussion with your customers. And finally, non-workload related or non-scenario related scoping opportunities are around the IT aspects of the business. So you are probably best positioned to know what your customers' IT challenges or burdens are, such as current ongoing cost of infrastructure managing. Perhaps there's a new server upgrade that needs to be done. Capital expenses are an issue. And we realize, of course, that this has been your traditional business model for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever time you've been in business. But you will be doing your customer a disservice by not allowing them to consider cloud solutions and cloud services. And by no means is SherWeb sitting here today telling you that cloud is the future and that there will never be any on-premise requirements in the future. That's absolutely false. We are strong believers in the hybrid model. Some workloads have a greater affinity with the cloud. However, there's always going to be an on-premise requirement, and you'll be able to offer both to your customers, which is what this is all about. So if we go on to the next, common objections. So in this one, I really want to highlight some of the most common objections. You might have received these yourself. The first one, why would I want Office in the cloud? We're not necessarily just talking about Office Suite here, but all workloads, or certainly Exchange and Office, for example. Well, really, you get, with practice, good at answering this question. It's about giving your customers power and flexibility to run their business from anywhere on any device, without worrying about managing the hardware or any complex licensing requirements. So they can stay focused on their business while using tools that they're familiar with, the Office Suite, Outlook, and so forth. And also, they're always up to date. So not only are you getting the tools you're familiar with, but they're always up to date. You're actually being billed and paying for what you need, so on a monthly subscription model, without necessarily any commitments. And of course, that depends on your provider and depends on you, what kind of terms and conditions. But certainly, to respect one of the core pillars of cloud solutions, you need to make sure that your users are able, or your customers are able, to add and remove services within perhaps some limitation as far as the removing of services, and being invoiced for what they're actually using. So for example, you've got a 20 end user organization. Locking him into 20 business premium plan for a year is good, but what if he lets 2 people go halfway through? You want to give them the ability to benefit from one of these benefits of cloud solutions, which is usage-based billing. The second one is, I'm concerned about security. Now, this happens regularly, believe it or not, but there's really 2 ways in answering this. One of them is really by trying to have a conversation with your customer and having a conversation around comparing what their typical or their existing on-premise firewall protection, data protection, and physical security measures they have in place, and comparing that with the Microsoft environment and data centers, which, by the way, I think Microsoft last year spent over $2 billion on infrastructure security worldwide. So just having a good conversation and say, listen, why are some of the largest financial institutions, the largest companies out there confirming that Microsoft has the security, the certifications, and all data security confidentiality aspects in place to meet the largest enterprise customers' requirements? They should therefore be able to meet yours, Mr. SMB. And the reality is that your infrastructure pales in comparison to what Microsoft has implemented. So you do so, of course, in a polite and respectful and diplomatic fashion, but the reality is that the backups, the anti-spam, and all the protections that are in place within the Microsoft environment simply, well, there's no contest. The SMBs can never come close to rivaling the investments that are made and the elements that are in place within the Microsoft data centers. So price is too high. That's another one as well. So on that quote, on that objection, really, it's about making sure the customer understands that he's not just buying the Office suite. Okay? Initially, a lot of people, when they think of Office 365, they think it's simply the Office suite. That's not the case. You have to move the conversation beyond Office and beyond the price by demonstrating the true business value and opportunity that comes with the entire Office 365 workload and opportunity. So make sure that they understand the benefits of the exchange, the 50 gig per mailbox, 150 megabyte limit attachment, the synchronization with the mobile device, the access from anywhere, any device. And to further that conversation, you can use a lot of the online tools that SherWeb has adapted from Microsoft to make sure that they're more partner friendly, that to allow you to have a good TCO, total cost of ownership conversation with your customers, to make sure that they're able to understand really what is their on-premise investment versus a cloud one. Okay, and that SherWeb is there to assist you in training you on the tools, so the calculators themselves, the pitch, and handling those objections, and make sure we drive all of your opportunities to the close stage. So if we shift the conversation a little bit here to the margin, there's a concept out there that's called the IP staircase, which is really what you add in terms of services to go up the staircase in terms of going from a transactional, project-based invoicing model to a recurrent monthly subscription model, all the way up to the highest margin opportunity package possible, which is our around package IP, which can often yield margins around 65%. So when you're selling Office 365, best practices, at a minimum, you as a partner must bundle in project services. Now, these project services can be end user training, of course, cloud assessment and readiness programs, migration services, and so forth. So you can invoice your customers or present to them in a proposal these project services as a standalone, as a one-time fee, okay? Whereas a true managed service provider will include all of these project services within their monthly subscription, okay? Within the managed service monthly fee per user, for example, that the customer will buy. That allows you to go into the managed service stack, which is really a recurrent billing model, where now you're looking at upwards to 40–45% margins. And in these managed services, well, really, the sky's the limit. Again, I'm not going to list you all the managed services opportunities that you can build around Office 365, but of course, there's tenant management, there's reactive help desk support. So, your customer's help desk 24/7, and of course, SherWeb is there to help you if you've got gaps in your support capabilities. Performance and application. You're also monitoring their usage of Office 365, giving them a monthly or quarterly visibility as far as what their users are using, the adoption, making sure they're leveraging all of the services available. So really maximizing their investment. And the more workloads they use, the less likely they are of leaving the solution. So that increases your stickiness. And finally, package IP, that's really where you've built your own intellectual property around Office 365 workloads or any cloud solution out there that truly makes your offering stand out. Typically, IP is built around a specific vertical or customer profile or segment and addresses a specific needs. And by doing so, you get 65% margin in some cases, like was said earlier. And it's really allows you to have a conversation that kind of would flow like this with the customer that, hey, Mr. Customer, I know who you are, I know what your pain points are, and I've built a solution that meets all of these pain points. You can look around, Mr. Customer, you're not going to find it anywhere else. I'm truly unique, and because of that, you increase the stickiness, but also you can demand almost any price point from the end customer. So once again, our account managers are there to help you. Walk you through the margin opportunity in the IP staircase. We've got over 65 Office 365 plans that can be combined with 45 different managed services, recommendation around Office 365, and 33 different project fees that you can attach to Office 365. So you can make margin on the actual SKUs and licenses, so you get a cost from SherWeb that is below Microsoft online pricing. You can sell it at whatever price you want, so you're making margins on that, or you're making profit on that margin. But if you want to truly maximize the cloud opportunity, you need to attach managed services, project fees to this offering, make yourself unique, and demand a higher price point from your customers.
Thank you, Matthew, for sharing those best practices to increase your margin and increase partner stickiness. Another question for you all. We want to know if you are part of the Microsoft Advisory Program. So again, you have the option to answer by a yes or no.
So the Microsoft Advisor Program is basically, for those that are not sure, Microsoft is billing your customers direct. They're doing so with the Microsoft online pricing, and you get a monthly, well, you get initial commission and then a monthly recurring commission, and you are partner of record associated each end customer account.
Thank you all. As we've thought, I know about 1/3 of you are Microsoft Advisor partners and the other 2/3 are not.
All right, so that's good. So it makes the slide I'm about to present before handing things off to Nep quite relevant. And that's really around the Microsoft Advisor changes that are going on right now. Well, they've been going on for almost a year. So just to make sure we're on the same page, Microsoft Advisor program, all sell commission. So the initial commission that used to be the highest possible within the first 12 months after onboarding a new customer to Office 365 disappeared, went away last year, last fall. And the managed commission, so the 3% ongoing that you're touching now, is actually going away at the end of June. So 1st of July, no more commissions will be paid out to any partner of record under the advisor program at Microsoft. No commission whatsoever. So Nep's going to talk about some cashbacks. This is in addition to this Microsoft Advisor transfer opportunity at SherWeb, which is the fact that you're able to take any existing Office 365 customers that you have with Microsoft today, move them to SherWeb's Advisor program, and for the second time in the lifetime of each account, touch high commissions for the next 12 months. So at SherWeb, we will pay you 15% per month for the next 12 months after your transfer, followed by 5% per month for as long as the customer account stays with us and you associated to your advisor account at SherWeb. In this example, it's 100 seats, so basically he's doing the switch and he's basically generating this partner over $3,000 in additional recurring revenue by changing his existing advisor accounts to SherWeb. And in this model, SherWeb is still billing the customer, so just like Microsoft, SherWeb will bill your end customer. You won't have to worry about billing. We'll bill the end customer the annual Microsoft online pricing, so the best price point possible that they could get directly with Microsoft, while giving full flexibility, so it's annual pricing on a monthly billing with no penalties or annual commitments. And we will, of course, support your end customer for you. So it's a great opportunity if you don't want to get further invested on the billing, on the support side, but you want to keep touching commissions on your existing customers, feel free to reach out to SherWeb. We've got APIs, we've got tools to make the transfer seamless to your end customers and quite easy for you as well, allowing you to keep touching commissions. So on that note, please prepare your questions. We're going to have a Q&A session at the end. In the meantime, I'd like to hand things off to Nep, who's going to talk about SherWeb's exclusive cashback promotion.
Thank you, Mitsu. It was awesome. I often said Office 365 is not just a set of applications, it's a business tool to help employees to be more productive and collaborative. As you know, we are in a technology-driven area, so technology shouldn't be the hurdle for your customers and employees. You should be able to empower them. So the SherWeb exclusive CSP cashback promo, the reason why most of you are here for. We are the only cloud service provider with the cashback promo on top of Microsoft Cloud Power Up campaign that is ongoing right now. Our goal is simple. We want you to sell more products to the same customers, and we are giving you incentives for that. As stated, it's pretty simple. Starting from 5 seats and above per deal, you will get $5. If you reach 25 seats, you get $10. And if you reach 50 seats and above, you get $15 per seat. We are allowing you to mix and match with the following SKUs: Office 365 Business Premium, Pro Plus, E3, E5, all dynamic SKU except for team members and add-on. Also, we included Project Online, Pro and Premium. We will calculate the payout from the day of transaction, but must be active on day of payout in October. All your organizations in the US and Canada are eligible for it. As you see, the promo is pretty straightforward, and again, the goal is to drive more opportunity with the same customers while mix matching the products. I listed some examples here. So as you see, your first deal, if it's Office 365 Business Premium, you will get the $30 payout. But if your second customer is for Office 365 Pro Plus, because it's below 5, you will not get any payout for it. So again, drive number of seats per customers. And I also want to point out, when you sell 20 Office 365 Business Premium license to a customer, you get $100. But if you're able to ensure that all their employees and get the Office 365 license, and also you can cross-sell to Project Online or Project Online Pro or any Dynamics queues, and you just get threshold of 25, your payout will jump to $250. It's well worth it.
So now, quick question for you. So you're able to mix and match SKUs, right?
That's correct. So the goal that you sell Office 365 to your customers, and then you ask your customers, your employees, what else do they do? Are they using any project applications? If so, do you have Project Online Pro? You have Premium. Are they using any CRM system? Are they looking to implement a new CRM system? If they are, well, Dynamics and Office 365 is a great combo. Okay, and you can do the other way around too. If you're selling Dynamics to customers, why don't you also add Office 365 to that transaction?
Okay, so that's great. So you could be selling 3 Business Premium licenses to a customer and 2 Dynamics CRM licenses, and you would meet the minimum 5 user threshold.
That's correct.
Awesome, thank you.
So that's for the SherWeb CSP Cashback Promo. We just want to also inform you about the Microsoft Cloud Power Up. As most of you probably heard about it, this promo has been ongoing since February 1st and is good until June 30th, 2017. All partners with the Microsoft NPN ID are eligible for it. Few things to remark. Only new tenants of cloud services applications are eligible for. So if you do any transfer, they are not eligible for the Microsoft Cloud Power Up promo. And also, the first 3 new tenants are making you eligible for the promo, so they do not count for the incentives. It's starting from the 4th new tenant with a minimum of 5 seats, you'll be paid. A lot of SKUs are eligible for it. The most popular ones are listed on the table below. So for example, Office 365 Business is $12 per SKU per seat, or if you take a Dynamics Plan 1, it goes up to $75 per seat.
Okay, so let's cover another example. So let's say you're an advisor partner. You're an advisor, you've got a few customers as partner of record with the Microsoft Advisor Program. You could transfer them. You have 2 options when you transfer them to SherWeb. Remember, you can transfer them to SherWeb as Advisor Program. So we'll bill the end customer and we'll give you a 15% commission first 12 months and then 5% monthly ongoing. Or you can transfer them to any of SherWeb's, for example, our white label program. That means you get lower partner costs, you determine your sell price, you bill your customer. So you can really maximize your revenue. But in this case, SherWeb's invisible, you've got to bill, you've got to support your end customer, and of course with SherWeb, always 24/7 available behind you. So let's say you're moving those advisor customers to SherWeb, you would touch the 15% commission in this scenario where you're transferring
/partners. You can contact us at partners@sherweb.com, and then please take advantage of our SherWeb exclusive cashback promotion. So you probably all received an email. If not, you just have to go on info.sherweb.com/CSP-cashback, and you'll be able to register to the promotion.
So it's important. You have to register if you want to be eligible for payout later this year.
So now we'll answer the questions that we have.
All right. Well, here's the first one. So, how does SherWeb bill partners? Okay, that's a great question. So basically, SherWeb, we're assuming here you're under our white label program, for example. So we're invisible to your end customer. You're billing your customer at whatever price point you want. In a scenario like this, SherWeb bills in arrear. So we have a monthly billing cycle. Let's, for simplicity's sake, say that you're being billed on the 30th or 31st of every month. So we'll bill you at the end of the month for the last month's worth of services that were consumed. Okay, so it allows you to perhaps bill your customers in advance, get paid from them before you have to pay SherWeb. Something also that you need to consider in the billing is that SherWeb bills you on a prorated basis. So as a partner, you have no annual commitments. Everything is monthly. So you could add 50 licenses today, next month, drop them down to 25, and your next invoice would drop down to 25. But it will also adjust your invoicing both when you add or remove services on a prorated basis. So you add licenses on the 15th of the month. Well, at the end of the month, you'll get an invoice for those licenses from the 15th to the 30th or 31st. So you don't necessarily have to bill monthly for your customers. As I said earlier, you don't necessarily have to bill on a prorated basis, but you from SherWeb are billed on these conditions.
Great. I have another interesting question here. Someone asking me, can I transfer licenses to SherWeb and receive the cashback? Of course, we will pay you out the cashback on transfer if they meet the other criteria. Again, Microsoft required new tenant. Another question is, what if I add 1 or 2 licenses at a time? Will you still pay me? Again, our goal is to drive larger deals with the same customers. Hence, we will take a snapshot approach. So only at per deal, if you're above that 5 license threshold, then you'll be paid. What if I sell 3 office licenses and 3 project? Am I eligible? Yes, of course. Again, you can mix and match eligible SKUs. We want you to cross-sell your customers.
I see another question here. This one, not necessarily on the cashback, but on the migration service. They really want to, the question is, how do you work with us to make sure our users are migrated to Office 365? All right, well that's a great question. A lot of value comes from there. So every time you have a migration, so you've sold to a customer on Office 365, you either through your online portal, Cumulus, submit a migration request, or you simply reach out to your designated account manager and he'll submit a migration request on your behalf. Within 24 hours, we'll reach out to you. A specialist, dedicated migration specialist will reach out to you. Then we'll start the planning phase. Most migrations, let's say under 100 seats, are executed between 5 and 7 business days at SherWeb. So we do so in 3 phases. 1, the planning. So we reach out to you, make sure we understand the needs, your customers' needs, the overall strategy, build a specific migration plan, explain to you all the steps that are going to happen, what we're going to do, what we're going to need you to do, what we're going to need you to get from the customer, and so forth. And then really there's 2 phases, a pre-migration. So the customer, his MX, are not changing, the users are still using their old service, but we're doing a pre-migration, so connecting to the on-premise environment or wherever the service is being hosted at, and we'll pre-migrate everything that's 30 days and older. So that when we do go through the 3rd phase, which is the cutover, where we really redirect the MX records to Office 365, the users can connect to the mailbox, whether through OA or through their Outlook profile that has been pre-configured, and they'll see all of their 30-day and older content, and then the last 30 days worth of data will be synchronized over the next few minutes. So you get a dedicated technician that's going to use, like I said, 20 years of best practice to make sure we're moving your customer with no downtime, no data loss to the cloud. We'll use commercially available tools like BitTitan, for example, to move the data and make sure it's done efficiently, and we'll absorb the cost of that license fee for you. And finally, you'll have that agent with you all the way to the end, adapting to your and your customer's schedule and migration plan. So you get a lot of value for $0. And that's truly exceptional, Nep. I mean, people tell me, you're giving me all of this and I can still charge my customers what I used to charge them in the past, but I'm spending 20% of the time I used to spend handling migrations? And the answer is yes.
That's great, Matthew. I was in a show a few weeks ago, and that's exactly why we mentioned we want to be your backbone, and we are able to provide that service, and you could take the credit for yourself. So we don't see other questions. So thank you all for joining. Again, jumpstart your sales with SherWeb's new cashback promo. Don't forget to go register on our website. It's info.sherweb.com/CSP-cashback. And please reach out to your sales account manager if you're already a partner. If not, please sign up as a partner and we'll assign you a dedicated account manager. Thank you all.